Locked On Podcast Network presents Locked On Sports Today.
The New York Yankees had to make it happen in Game 3 or it was going to get late early in the World Series. Also, Russ cooked, and the Jets could go down in history as one of the biggest busts ever.
I'm Peter Bukowski, starting your day with the can't-miss stories and biggest debates in sports. You're Locked On Sports Today.
Searching all major sports. Found.
Let's start with the biggest story.
Sure, maybe it was the World Series that Major League Baseball wanted for the fans. Well, right now it's looking like it's going to be a short series. After 3 games, it's all Dodgers. A 3-0 lead after a 4-2 win on the Equinox. All the sports were going on. It was a fun time. There even had some options. If you were a YouTube TV subscriber, you could actually watch all the games at once. Stacey Gadzoulias from Locked On Yankees may have wanted to not watch at least one of them because this Yankees team has really just not shown up so far, Stacey, in the World Series. What is the biggest reason why they just have not gotten off the ground here?
Aaron Boone bringing in Nestor Cortez in the 10th inning of Game 1. That set the tone.
It all goes back to that one decision, you think?
That one decision set the tone for the rest of the series. They did not like them doing that to Nestor. And these guys need to learn how to bounce back from adversity, and they haven't done it. And they do this thing where they wait till the last minute to try and score runs. They've done it in the last 2 games, and I don't understand this plan of theirs. It's clearly not working. But yeah, it started with that. That really just changed the whole. I mean, because think about it. If they won Game 1 and lost Game 2, come to New York and lose Game 3, okay, you're down 2-1. You have 2 more games to win at home.
Sure.
Now you're down 0-3, and it's like, all right, well, the series is over. I mean, they might win 1 game, maybe even 2 if they get lucky, but they're not going to come back after being down 0-3. That's not going to happen again.
Well, things have happened in baseball playoffs. I don't need to rub it in for Yankees fans. We don't need to go down that road. But one of the reasons that they are down 3-0 is they can't get Freddie Freeman out. And 3 straight games with a home run. That was supposed to be what Aaron Judge was going to come in and do for the Yankees. But he hasn't really been that guy, the guy that we saw in the regular season, all postseason. No. What is it about postseason Aaron Judge where he can't barrel up any of these pitches?
I don't know. And I wouldn't be surprised if once the season ends, we're going to find out that something was wrong and they didn't tell us. And I think the same thing is going on with Garrett Cole, because why are you taking Garrett Cole out after 88 pitches? Why are you not pitching him in Game 4? Something is up, and we're going to they do this to us all the time, but we're going to find out. I'm almost willing to bet money on it, but I don't have enough money to do that, so I won't. But something's up with Aaron Judge because he's not this bad. Something weird's happening.
Yeah, we get the now they tell us piece after the series is over. Oh yeah, he's going to have oblique surgery or something in the offseason. Right. Like, okay, well, this would have been nice to know while this was going on. Okay, so now while we anxiously await for whatever that news is, I know from the Yankees fans in my life and from talking to you and just like being a sports fan on the internet, Yankees fans are not in love with what's going on with Aaron Boone. Is it enough that if this series goes down in 4, if it's a clean sweep, that we could be talking about a new Yankees manager next season? No, I don't know if there's anything that Aaron Boone can do to be gotten rid of, because he should have been gotten rid of after they got swept out of the ALCS 2 seasons ago. And I don't understand how they signed him to an extension. You're gotten rid of makes it sound like this is a Sopranos episode. I'm a little concerned.
Sorry, part Italian. I can't help it. But I don't know. I don't think he's going anywhere. And I don't understand why. Hal is so much the opposite of his father, because George would have fired Aaron Boone after Aroldis Chapman gave up that walk-off in 2019. We wouldn't have seen Boone after 2 seasons. So I really don't know what has to happen in order for him to get fired, but I don't see him getting fired even if they get swept.
So where do the Yankees go from here then? Cabo?
Well, yeah. I'm not sure where they all want to go on vacation. Maybe some of them will go to Europe. Some will go maybe to Mexico. No, I don't know. I really don't. Cole has the option to opt out, but he'll probably opt out and then sign for more and come back. I don't see him leaving the Yankees. I do see Juan Soto being like, bye, had fun, but I'm just going to go where the money is. So yeah. And part of me thinks that Hal is actually relieved that the Yankees are showing up this way. They made it to the World Series. He's happy they made it to the World Series, but this might be the reason why he won't sign Juan Soto. Like he'll try, but this might be the reason why he doesn't.
Stay up to date on the New York Yankees all year long by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Yankees on your favorite podcast app and on YouTube. Thanks for making Locked On Sports Today your first listen. Coming up, the Steelers let Russ cook, and he made a delicious meal against the New York Giants. Before we get to that, Anthony Richardson's hold on the starting quarterback job in Indy sounds tenuous. GameTime has a new feature called GameTime Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more near you. You can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? Game time. Sunday was not a good day for Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis Colts, but Monday, maybe even worse. When asked about the status of the Colts' starting quarterback job, head coach Shane Steichen's answer sounded anything but comforting for Anthony Richardson.
Like I said, we're evaluating everything, not just the quarterback, everything. Like, we all got to be better. I mean, we're sitting at 500. And, I think, looking back at what we've done, there's a whole bunch of areas that we can improve on. I'm not just talking about the quarterback. I'm talking about everything. And we got to be better. Just to get it on the record, I guess. So you're saying, is Anthony your starting quarterback right now or not? Right now, today is, yes. Just you don't know for the upcoming game if he is a starting quarterback. We're evaluating.
Jordan Love got injured again for the Green Bay Packers on Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Reports are that imaging showed no serious damage. He is considered day-to-day. Also hurt for the Packers, Jair Alexander and standout rookie safety Evan Williams. Each of them also got good news on the long-term injury front, but their status for Sunday against the Detroit Lions in a huge game in the NFC North is still very much up in the air. Wednesday's practice will give us the first indication of if we will get a healthy Packers team or something close to it against the Lions on Sunday. And in a shocking move in the W, the Connecticut Sun are moving on from head coach Stephanie White. This after she led the Suns to back-to-back semifinal appearances in the playoffs, a 55-25 record in 2 seasons, and a Coach of the Year award in 2023. Sun President Jen Rosati spoke about her decision to ESPN, but something she said seems to raise more questions when she said we parted on good terms because some of White's decision-making was just not about basketball. The WNBA now has 7 head coaching vacancies. Monday night featured a pretty sloppy game between the Steelers and the Giants. Sometimes you need to win ugly, but what did we actually learn about either team through this game?
Chris Carter here from the Locked On Steelers podcast here at Acrisure Stadium, where the Steelers have just won 26-18 over the New York Giants and now advanced to 6-2 atop the AFC North alone as they head into their bye week. But bottom line, the Steelers are able to get a win. They were the better team in this game, but they could have been a lot cleaner in a lot of ways, allowing 394 yards of offense to the Giants, only 1 touchdown, but still needing to come up big late. Still, that's part of why the defense is the way that it is and constructed the way that it is. TJ Watt doing amazing things, 2 sacks in this game, a forced fumble and a recovered fumble in a crucial red zone possession late in the fourth quarter. Then, as the Giants were driving, Beanie Bishop getting an interception to close them out. His third interception in 2 games. Huge plays from him. Russell Wilson, solid for most of the game outside of the fumble. He did throw some really good deep balls and open things up. We'll talk more about that on the full episode of the Locked On Steelers podcast. I'm your host, Chris Carter. Follow us on YouTube and on wherever you get your podcast.
Stay up to date all year on the Pittsburgh Steelers by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Steelers on your favorite podcast app and on YouTube. Coming up, the Jets will go down as one of the biggest busts in the history of sports for this season. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if they win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. I cashed Steelers -5.5. I cashed Broncos minus, I don't remember the number, but honestly, they couldn't have made the number high enough for me not to want to take the Broncos against the Panthers. They would have covered it up to 2 touchdowns. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win that first $5 bet. And that winning $5 bet could be an NBA game. Tonight, the Nets host the Nuggets. FanDuel loves the Nuggets in this one and has them favored by 6.5. While the Nuggets have been brutal to start the season. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. The New York Jets just lost to the New England Patriots. While that has happened a lot in recent memory, it wasn't supposed to happen this year. As Locked On Jets host John Butchko points out, this is more evidence that the Aaron Rodgers plan is not working, and not working to the point of historic inadequacy.
In the big picture, this is a pretty significant development, and it shows that this season is really lost. At 2-6, it's very difficult to see how the New York Jets recover from this. And you can't just talk about the 2024 NFL season when you put the New York Jets into context. You can't even talk about them in terms of just the NFL. This team needs to be put into the larger context of sports history right now, because this team is an all-time failure. It's an all-time bust. When you talk about a team that added so much star power, a team that had such high expectations, and a team that will fall so short of those expectations. When you go all in with a star-studded roster, there are the teams that succeed and win it all. There are the teams that fall a little short, but they give it a good effort. Everybody remembers that 2000, and I know a lot of you don't follow basketball, but there was a team in 2004, the Los Angeles Lakers. They had 4 Hall of Famers: Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and they added Gary Payton and Karl Malone in free agency. That team's remembered as a failure, but they made the NBA Finals. The Jets in 2024, they go down as like an all-time bust team. They go down with like the dream team the Eagles had in 2011. They go back with the early Dan Snyder team in Washington when they signed Deion Sanders and Bruce Smith. You want to go to other sports, the Lakers in 2012 and 2013, they had Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol, and they traded for Steve Nash and Dwight Howard. And the team that I compared the Jets with last week, the 1992 New York Mets, who had a book written about them, The Worst Team Money Could Buy, a Mets team that had a lot of stars on it and finished in 5th place in a 6-team division. And a week ago, after the Jets were blown out by the Pittsburgh Steelers, I said the Jets were football's version of the worst team money could buy. But I got to be honest with you. I think after losing to the Patriots, they're worse than the worst team money could buy. It's tough to believe how bad this team is right now. They just lost to maybe the least talented team in the NFL.
It's hard for me on this because I was insistent to Jets fans, this was not going to work. Resolute in my belief to my core, this was doomed from the start. And here we are. Here we are. I could not fathom that there were people I thought were smart that cover the game that saw Aaron Rodgers the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers and thought that guy with that attitude, with that skill set, with that body was going to turn around one of the most moribund franchises in the NFL, maybe in American sports. It just was never going to happen. And I would be lying if I told you I wasn't enjoying, at the very least, being right about this, but also all of the schadenfreude is just chef's kiss. And finally, speaking of chef's kiss, Dwayne Wade's statue at the Kaseya Center, anything but. It is, it's drawn a lot of attention for the way Dwayne Wade's face looks in the statue. To be blunt, it doesn't look like Dwayne Wade. Something he spoke in defense of it on Monday, though. If I wanted it to look like me, I'd just stand outside the arena and y'all can take photos. Doesn't need to look like me. It's the artistic version of a moment that happened that we're trying to cement. But still, it looks more like Thanos or Lawrence Fishburne or a generic villain on a USA show. But look, I loved Dwayne Wade as a player. I will always love Dwayne Wade as a player, but this hurts me that this is what it looks like. I'm sorry, Dwayne. Apparently all of the sculpting masters, there's a reason we call them the masters, and apparently they all died in the 1900s in France. So this is what we're left with. If you're catching this episode after hearing your favorite Locked On show, make sure to subscribe to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Also, if you're a new subscriber to Locked On Sports Today, we're here for you with the biggest stories in sports every day. Coming up on the next Locked On Sports Today, just how dominant has this postseason been for the Dodgers? So at least until tomorrow, stay Locked On Sports Today.
Locked On Podcast Network presents Locked On Sports Today.
Go to our video on demand. Click on sports at the top of your screen. There, you'll find past episodes of Locked On Sports Today, plus other Locked On shows on demand.